Okay, NAMM was not what I was expecting it to be in ways both amazing and at the same time somewhat confusing or just misunderstood for me. My only expectations from NAMM were just from previously watching years of either brands or creators showing off like new equipment that was being released or announced at the expo. And I didn't really have any other expectations apart from that because I've never had a chance to go, and that's it. I got some notes right here that I'm reading off of. There are thousands of booths, maybe thousands, and anywhere from like just a 10 by 10 booth to like some brands would have these giant installations that might be 100 feet long by 100 feet this way, where you could fit, you know, multiple hundred people in your booth. There are things from more like modest size entry level companies promoting like single products up to like the giant corporations who are just announcing whatever it is they're releasing this year. There's a bunch of stages where they have performances by bands or artists all day long, or maybe they're having presentations about something. There's idea panels, there's food trucks to after parties. Many brands do things like giveaways and raffles. And as time goes on, more and more of your favorite online creators are becoming more vital to like the experience of NAMM. There's now like creator rooms where you can go and have like full-on podcasts or just create content around your experience at NAMM or interview people outside of being a part of these companies doing that. So like your own press, essentially. And even next door to that, they have like a room for where you would start chopping up your footage if you were making videos on the floor to post that. So first and foremost, yes, it's such a fun time if you do take advantage of all the opportunities that this expo presents to you. You can get direct FaceTime with the people at companies who are like the movers and shakers, like the people making things happen, because it is technically more of a B2B expo that I didn't understand beforehand going, where the people at the booths are the people who are making things happen for the company. Sometimes it actually is the owners. A lot of times it's just people of like the C-suite. You can meet them face to face and actually have straight meetings on the floor while you're making your way around. It really is an amazing environment to just be able to network with people, whether it is your friends going, whether it is you want to meet people at booths, whether it is other content creators that you want to meet. And I met a bunch of people that I was really excited about, and the whole time I was trying to get some footage and pictures and stuff to document the experience because it was my first time. I fumbled the bag. I was just so overstimulated the whole time by like everything. If you've never been, it's loud, it's bright. Everywhere you look, something is going on with all these people. And I just didn't do a great job capturing it. Shout out to a couple of people. I finally got to meet all the people at Phoenix Pro. We talked a little bit about some of their units and some of the things that they're thinking about doing. I got to share some ideas of how to improve some of their units. I got to film Scott Yule's performance at the Line 6 booth. I've been following him since he had like 5,000 subscribers, so it's really cool to watch him grow. Like, that was cool. I met Steve Sterlacci. He convinced me to sell my Kemper, and I mentioned that to him. It was funny. I don't know if any of you remember that video that I posted a couple years ago where I sold my Kemper and just got Tonex and Helix. And he's the one who taught me with his videos how to do all that. I met HW from Tone Junkie, and I've been buying Tone Junkie stuff for years. I met Sarah the Instrumentalist, who I've been using her music in my YouTube videos for well over a decade now. I met some connections for the people at Audient, because I really love Audient. Sanjay C, who is also somebody who I've been watching for a really long time. I won this keyboard from him some years back in like a giveaway, and I still use it every day up to this point. So hello, Sanjay. And then I also shot an after party for Fine Classics Plugins and Canvas Audio, which would be Ryan Fritz and Sam Guiana. I can really see how, like, the more years that you spend in this industry, more special events like this become, because there's a lot of people in this industry that will outgrow a company and then decide they just want to leave and expand in another company. NAMM is kind of a reunion because that's where everyone goes to have a booth. That's where everyone goes to have their business meetings. If you are in this industry, you know, moving from company to company or even just growing in companies, this is the one time where it is like a reunion for you all to get together. The mobile app was super helpful to navigate all the events because like it's such a big expo. I've been to the Anaheim Convention Center before, but it never at the capacity in which NAMM utilizes it. So being able to like search whatever booth you're looking for and then find it on the map and get to there, that was incredibly helpful. But also like it'll help you plan your day based on like what events are happening. kind of mentioned the after party thing, but like it is something that you can take advantage of as just somebody going, because a lot of these companies will just, they'll be free. Like you just have to RSVP and show up. And then you get to have more networking events where people are just literally just trying to meet each other and hang out. And it's less of there being this wall of some sort of expectation apart from like, we're just here to have a good time and network. And that is invaluable. Heads up, wear good shoes. The first day, I went for 2 days. I went on a Friday and I tried to get there very early so I could be there at the beginning. And I think that day I put in like 16,000 steps. So it's like going to Disneyland for a day. It's a lot. Also, maybe get a hotel nearby the convention center if you can, and if it's in your budget, look at that far ahead of time, because it really is quite helpful to be able to get a hotel near it, so you don't have to worry about getting to and from somewhere to get to the expo. Because like I'm in LA, I'm in West Hollywood. You know, Anaheim is, I think it was like 38 miles. Without traffic, it's roughly an hour to get there. And then like with the Saturday when I went, it took me 2 hours to get down there just from traffic. Not that if you're traveling for NAMM, you'd be staying in West Hollywood, but it is much more helpful to get something that is close enough to the expo to just be a lot more cozy at, so that you can actually spend more time taking advantage of like things that happen all day long and the after parties near and around the expo without needing to worry about transportation. So things that confused me that I didn't necessarily have an expectation for, just based out of my own ignorance. Like I said, I just didn't understand how much of it really is like a B2B thing. I now know that like it's actually been around for over 100 years, and it is more of a place where all these international companies meet up and have their meetings and make their business deals and use it as their point of connection to be able to have those meetings. It was just jarring for me at first when I didn't understand that, and at my own fault, because being surrounded by people in suits and blazers, I'm like, what the hell is going on? But now I know. It's my own fault. Yeah, some brands literally will have their entire booth station just dedicated as like meeting rooms instead of actually having presentation booths where they're presenting their products. It'll just be a booth where they're doing their business deals. And the other thing that I was kind of surprised about, it felt like maybe 80%, probably more of the booths, didn't really have any sort of means of purchasing things. And I get that that's the whole point of like, it's a showcase. But then there was some booths that did sell things, like I know Hosa, the cable brand company, their whole booth was an accessory store, which is a genius idea at a music expo, because everyone needs cables, especially for people who are working the expo, everyone needs cables. Some of the smaller guitar manufacturer companies did like have some of their floor models for sale that you could buy and then pick up at the end of the weekend. Out of all the expos I've ever been to, especially ones with brands that are focused around hardware equipment being the sole purpose of a brand, that you don't have things for sale for either the customers or people that aren't there for business to be able to purchase. It was just weird. Like it wasn't, I was just confused by it, because a lot of the companies would have discounts if you bought their stuff online. The last thing I'll say that kind of sucks, parking. I think this goes in tandem with like where you decide to stay for your hotel. Parking sucks. If you get there early enough, you can park at the convention center and it's like 25 bucks for the whole day, so that's great. But like Saturday, I got late because of traffic. I had to park at the Hilton, which is like the connecting hotel, one of the connecting hotels to the convention center. I parked for like 2 hours and it was 65 bucks. So that hurt. It was my first NAMM. It was a cool experience. I got to meet a lot of cool people. And overall, there was a lot more pros than cons. And I definitely think that if you haven't been, you should go. At some point, I'm gonna go next year for sure.